Okay, so here's my issue with guys.
Oh, fuck.
No, and this is not, I'm not saying this is you, but
It is.
I feel like we're living in this world right now. I'm calling it wounded feminine energy, where guys are living in that instead of just like taking charge and being like, I'm gonna plan.
What? Is this woman serious? Wounded feminine energy? Now, when I first heard this, I said, okay, this definitely sounds like this should be directed towards women, but for some reason she is directing this towards men. So this made me say, fellas, have you guys ever heard of anything like this? And is this something that's gonna make sense? Comment your thoughts under this video. While you're commenting your thoughts, let me go ahead and welcome you guys to another episode of Wall Watch, where we see how women respond to hitting a wall. Today, we already know what the question is. What is wounded feminine energy, and who is this describing? Is this describing men or women? And then will this actually help you in dating? Remember, comment your thoughts under this video. Also, like and then subscribe to the channel because I'm posting daily content. My name is Bertrand. I am the coolest dude on the planet, and I'm your friend. Confidence and clarity is the goal. So here we go.
Okay, so here's my issue with guys.
Oh, fuck.
No, and this is not, I'm not saying this is you, but
It is.
I feel like we're living in this world right now. I'm calling it wounded feminine energy, where guys are living in that instead of just like taking charge and being like, I'm gonna plan the date, I'm gonna come pick you up. Like, I had a guy the other day be like, well, you're really the Nashville local, so I'm gonna let you figure it out. And I was
Ew.
like, I'm not planning this date. Planning this date.
Do you know why men do this? Men do this because whatever he suggested first, second, or third was something that she probably didn't want to do. So he got fed up enough to where he was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just allow you to pick the place because I don't really know what's out there. So I may choose something else that you don't like. Let's continue.
Date.
Right.
No, I'm sorry.
You're right though, but I think my problem is like, maybe this is a lot of people get afraid of like getting a bruised ego. And I'm like,
Of course.
I'm going to say,
But that's not masculine.
let's go salsa dancing. And she's like, off. Like,
Okay, but I think that's the issue right now is guys are so afraid of their ego getting bruised.
One thing that
Okay. The disrespect is strong with this one, y'all. Listen, the ego is what makes the man who he is. Without that ego, oh my gosh, she probably wouldn't even like the man because the confidence that he wouldn't have is something she would not be attracted to. So the ego is a big deal, not a small one. She's trying to make it seem like it's small. And as far as the bruise thing goes, well, his ego may be shattered, not just bruised. You may be the one that he says, if another woman, right? That's what happens. Let's continue.
I do it. One thing that I do is that I'll say I'm already planning something and say, do you want to come along?
No.
Because that's easier.
No.
That helps my ego.
Exactly. It's where we can
Come on. 1, 2, 3. Welcome.
Exactly. It's where we cannot be asking girls out from a place of
Okay,
our
tell me
ego.
how to do it.
You need to, because I think girls need to feel wanted.
Do you ask guys on dates?
Fuck no.
Yeah, what?
Because
Okay,
I'm the
ego?
girl.
Okay, ego?
No, because I'm the girl and I'm
Oh.
traditional and I want to be
Yeah.
courted. I want you to put a little
2024, equality.
that. Okay, so here's my issue with
Courted? Did you guys just hear this woman? She said she's traditional and she wants to be courted. She's lying, fellas. Fellas, this woman is lying. First of all, traditional is probably not the woman you want, not in today's time, because what that usually means is the woman is staying home, taking care of home, right? Washing dishes and cooking and making sure everything in the house is good, right? Guess what? The majority of women are complaining about the housework. They're complaining about washing dishes. They're complaining about folding clothes and doing laundry when the machine is doing the majority of the work. Now, let me tell you something about the traditional woman in today's time. They still have a phone. They're going to be scrolling. as they're scrolling, guess what? They're going to see men that they're attracted to. Do you know why? Because eventually she's going to post some type of picture that's going to get men's attention. She already stated, well, women, we want to feel wanted. How do women feel wanted? What do they do in order for them to feel wanted? Social media and dating apps have fried the mind of women. This woman is an older woman, but the way she's talking, you would think that she's a young woman who, is a virgin and has no children. Listen, we just talked about traditional women. They're going to get bored being in the house, which means there's going to be someone else in your house, in your bed, because she's bored. Okay. Now, courting. Once again, I'm telling you, this woman is lying. Maybe she's just using words that she doesn't know the meaning of, but let's just talk about courting really quick. Does she have her dad, her uncles, her brothers, her sons potentially vetting men? No, that is absolutely what she is not doing. What she is doing is just dating with the hopes that things work out after sex. Now, this is why men don't really care to court, because if you court the woman and you get the woman, you still have to share the woman. What was the purpose in courting her in the first place? What was the purpose of doing all of that work and racking your brain trying to figure out where she wants to go for this date? Because you want things to be special, because she wants things to be special. Fellas, what we just witnessed here is an older woman's tactic, right? This is how she fries the mind, or this is how she's able to see what she can actually get out of you. Because let me let you guys in on a secret. The expenses are going to go up. The things that she wants you to do, the things that she wants you to spend money on is going to go up. Before you know it, that budget that you had, those investments that you had, it will all be wasted on her, because she's definitely going to go to the next man, especially if you tell her no too many times, or if you tell her you don't have the money to do this right now. She is going to find a guy who is going to do this. Now, this woman also talked about ego. Now, I touched on it a little bit during the video, but let's go into a little bit deeper dive of the ego. The ego is something that protects you from things, or it's something that stops you from doing certain things. For instance, if something hurts, your ego is going to tell you, hey, don't do that again. You remember what happened the last time, right? The ego also shows you or tells you, you can do this. You've done this before. So then the question turns into, okay, which side of the ego are you on? Most importantly, which side of the ego is she feeding into? Is she feeding into the side that's building you up, or is she feeding into the side that makes you procrastinate and hesitate? The reason I'm asking that is because women have literally forgotten how to speak to men, how to talk to men. I'm saying this because when a woman has a son, she treats him a certain way. But for some reason, she thinks that she's not supposed to do that to the man that she's actually with. For instance, the father and daughter dynamic is a strong one. Guess what? She wants you to take on the role of being the father. The only difference is you get to put her through the mattress, and you have to deal with all of her wants that constantly change, which means she's never going to be satisfied. Again, another tactic of older women: never, ever satisfied. There is nothing you can do to satisfy her. And if you do satisfy her, it's only going to last for a very short period of time. Now, I also asked, is this a good dating strategy for this woman to have with her being a MILF? My answer, the simple answer, is no. The strategy that she has is going to keep her in the loop. She's going to continue to be shared because her attitude and her ego will not allow her to appreciate a man and his efforts. Again, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation where you said to a woman, you know what, you go ahead and plan the date. In fact, I had a situation like this where the woman lived about an hour away. And I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna meet, all right, let me try to be fair and at least have you, meet me halfway. But I'm like, look, forget that. If you just come to my area, I know everything over here. So, we can have, we can do whatever we need to do. She doesn't want to drive that far. I say, fine. Okay. Well, I tried to choose something that was closer to her. She said, ooh, no, that area is a bad area. I said, okay, cool. Chose another spot that was another area that was probably 10 or 15 minutes away, right, from the other area that was closer to her. And she said, that area is also bad. So I said, well, what the do you want me to do? Like, this is where I started to get frustrated, just like this man. So for me, hearing her say that, I'm like, this is how I responded to the woman after she rejected 3 places coming to me and then 2 other places that were closer to her. So now we're trying to meet somewhere in the middle because the surrounding areas around her were not good areas. Now, as far as this whole wounded feminine energy thing goes, she directed this at men. I'm directing this at women. Why? Because women constantly are out here wounded. I mean, wounded. Yes, I get it. It's really easy to shame a man. Oh, you guys are hurt. Who hurt you? You're damaged, right? We constantly hear that. But let me tell you guys this, or let me give you guys another story. I was dating a woman who was 35, and basically what happened with her was there was a man that she was with for about 2 or 3 years. He got another woman pregnant. Right? Now, these 2 women were pregnant at the same time, meaning her, the woman I was talking to for a short period of time, right? Her and the other woman were pregnant at the same time, but the other woman was further along in her pregnancy. So this depressed the woman that I was talking to, so much so to where she went to therapy. The therapist recommended getting her a dog, one of those little white dogs that, I guess are good coping mechanisms. I don't know. This is the story that she's telling me. And I can tell you, I've seen plenty of women who have that same dog. And every time I see that dog, I'm like, those little dogs are annoying. Now, with that being said, she jumped into a relationship with a guy that she had no attraction to. She was disgusted by this guy. But for whatever reason, she kept going back to him. Dump him, get back with him. Dump him, get back with him. Why? Because that guy was consistently pursuing her. Nah, I can't let you. Nah, I like you. Nah, I love you, right? That's what he kept doing for 2 years. She told me they were on and off for 2 years. Now, fast forward to me. We're talking, right? She ends up seeing this guy who put her through all of that trauma that made her go get that dog. Years have gone by. They seen each other, they start talking, they got back in contact. I wasn't mad about it because when I seen it happen, I already knew that our interaction was going to be limited anyway because she was still looking to have a child. And I was like, I can't really have a child with you because I don't know you. Like, I've known you for like a week. So I'm not looking to have a child with someone I have only known for a week. I said all that. I told those 2 stories just to let you guys know that when it comes to a woman being wounded, some of those wounds, they never get over. Some of those wounds never heal. Now, as far as the feminine thing goes, that should be directed towards women because a man should be masculine, right? Now, I get it. There are some men that are feminine or more feminine than some men, but nonetheless, if she's doing her part as the feminine energy, then that will naturally take his masculine energy up to another place. But as I stated before, women have forgotten how to speak to men. They have forgotten how to build a man's ego. Therefore, this is why I'm saying her dating strategy is not going to work. Now, it'll work in the sense there will be men who will be constantly putting her through the mattress, but as far as her getting back out of the streets, maybe if there's a guy she settles for, right? Maybe if there is a guy she settles for, you know what? He's good enough. He's good enough for today. He's good enough for this year. It's cuffing season, which right now, fellas, is hot girl summer. I need y'all to understand that, because I even had to think about it with some of the women that I was dating. Like, dang, okay, why they tripping right now? Because I mean, big tripping. Here's the thing. As I stated before, wounded feminine energy, oh yeah, that's what you're dealing with, because they're not telling you what they're wounded from. These are things you have to figure out. Like when you get into stupid arguments, or you get into an argument and now you're laying out the facts and you're giving her logical things to think about and things to respond to and react to. And then you start looking at those things that were logical and you start noticing, wait a minute, this ain't good enough for a breakup. This isn't good enough for this argument. This is not good enough to even have an argument. Fellas, I'm just letting you know, it is hot girl summer. There's a woman I just did a video on who said she had a roster.
Is anybody else roster up right now? Like, my starting 5 are ass. And if you're a part of my starting 5, you're cut. You're cut. This is getting ridiculous. Summer 2025 is right down the street and you guys are acting up. It's only
who said she had a roster of 5 men, but 2 of those guys were tripping, so she had to fire the whole roster. The only reason she felt comfortable doing this and saying this is because of hot girl summer, fellas. This is why I keep saying my message is adapt. Adapt to what's going on, because these same games are constantly being played. Again, this is an older woman. This is not a young woman out here talking about court me and I'm a traditional woman. She is not a traditional woman. In fact, I don't think a traditional woman exists. If they do, I'm telling you, they get tired of being at home. They get tired of it, because the men who have traditional women, those men really fall into the traditional role of being a man, which means he's probably not going to do some of the other things that she's seeing being done for other women on social media. So she's going to get jealous. This is why I say, fellas, go ahead and play the game with her, because she's not looking for anything serious, no matter what she says. If she is looking for something serious, she's looking for how much she can seriously get out of your wallet, what she can seriously get you to constantly spend on her. That's what she's seriously looking for. So keep that in mind, fellas. This is why I also say get your mind, your body, and your finances together. Not for her, but so that you can play the game as much as you need to, because women have changed on us. They have completely switched things around to the point to where we're confused and frustrated and annoyed. But the only way to combat this is to become the man that all the women want. Now, in order for you to do that, it really means that you are gonna have to reinvent yourself. You're gonna have to improve you. You're gonna have to care about you and what you're doing. You're gonna have to find something that you're passionate about that helps other people, that allows you to make even more money that you didn't know you could make, and invest the money. That's the most important thing you do with the money. That's why learning finances is way more important than just spending money and going out on dates, because you could turn these dates into a drop of the bucket where you're not even worried about how much money you spend on a date. Again, furthering your own mindset, but you do that by focusing on you. But I have a question. What do you think? Comment under this video. Remember, when you are watching these videos, you are becoming the best version of yourself. Now that this video is done, do me a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.